Prince's former lover reveals the truth about his alleged violence and the secrets behind his tragic death. Prince, a global icon, a musical genius. But behind the mystique, a darker story has emerged. A story of alleged abuse, controversial medical decisions, and a death shrouded in mystery. We'll explore the allegations that are rewriting Prince's legacy, and uncover details you may have missed. The world knew Prince as a flamboyant artist, a symbol of creativity and individuality. Yet, recent revelations from those closest to him paint a starkly different picture. His former girlfriend has broken her silence, detailing a relationship marked by alleged violence and control. This isn't the Prince the public adored, but a man accused of a disturbing duality. What drove this contrast between his public persona and private life? These allegations raise profound questions about the artist's true nature. Was this behavior a hidden aspect of his personality, or a consequence of pressures we can only imagine? The claims suggest a pattern of behavior that challenges the narrative of a universally beloved figure. How do we reconcile the music we love with these serious accusations? Beyond the personal allegations, Prince's death itself remains a subject of intense scrutiny. Reports emerged suggesting he was battling AIDS, a diagnosis he allegedly refused to acknowledge or treat, instead opting for faith healing and reportedly, a reliance on opiates. This controversial stance has fueled speculation about the true cause of his demise. Could his own choices have hastened his end? The media frenzy surrounding Prince's death was immense, yet many details remain murky. The official cause of death was an overdose of the powerful opioid fentanyl, but the circumstances leading up to it are still debated. Was he a victim of his own beliefs, or was there a systemic failure in his medical care? The questions linger, impacting how we understand his final years. These revelations force us to confront the complexities of celebrity and the often unseen struggles behind the spotlight. They challenge us to look beyond the art and consider the human being, with all their flaws and alleged transgressions. The legacy of Prince is being re-examined, urging us to ask, what is the real truth, and how does it change our perception of a cultural icon? The first layer is context. Every documentary story begins before the moment people remember. There is a setting, a chain of decisions, and a public reaction that shapes how the event is understood. In the case of Prince's hidden scandals, the important thing is not only what happened, but why the surrounding details made people pay attention. That is where the story begins to move from a simple summary into something more useful. It asks us to look at timing, location, pressure, and the way one moment can represent a much larger pattern. The second layer is what people often misunderstand. A single image or short clip can feel complete, but it usually leaves out the forces around it. Viewers see the result, not the build-up. They see the most dramatic frame, not the quiet details that made it possible. That gap matters because it changes the meaning of the story. When we examine Prince's hidden scandals carefully, we are not just asking what is visible. We are asking what is missing from the first impression. Then comes the turning point. This is where the story stops being only about one scene and starts pointing to a bigger question. Why did this particular moment stand out? Why did people share it, debate it, or return to it later? The answer is usually not one simple fact. It is a combination of emotion, uncertainty, and recognition. People respond when a story feels specific, but also familiar enough to connect to something they already care about. Another important detail is the human tendency to look for a clean conclusion. We want a final answer, a clear lesson, and a single explanation that ties every loose end together. But strong documentary stories often resist that. They leave us with evidence, competing interpretations, and a reminder that public understanding is always incomplete. That does not make the story weaker. It makes it more honest. So what value can we take from Prince's hidden scandals? The value is not just the event itself. It is the pattern around it. It shows how quickly attention forms, how easily context disappears, and how important it is to ask better questions before accepting the easiest version of a story. That is why stories like this continue to matter after the first wave of attention fades. In the end, Prince's hidden scandals remains worth examining because it sits between fact and interpretation. We can see enough to understand why it matters, but not always enough to close the case completely. And that open space is where documentary storytelling becomes powerful. It does not tell us what to think. It gives us a clearer way to look. The story of Prince is a complex tapestry of genius, controversy, and tragedy. As new details emerge, his legacy continues to be debated. What other hidden truths lie beneath the surface of our most celebrated figures? Subscribe for more deep dives into the stories that shape our culture.